Hello. What brings you here? I am honored.
Captain Vimes thinks the Grim Totems are behind the destruction of the Shady Rest Inn. They wouldn't have been first on my list of suspects, but if Captain Vimes sent you here to follow up on a lead, he must have his reasons. Regardless, the Grim Totems have been a thorn in our side for some time, and we're always glad to have the extra help.
How may I help?
The Grim Totems may be the most warlike of all the Tauren clans, but they're by no means unorganized. If they're the ones who put the torch to the Shady Rest Inn, they'll have had orders from one of their clan elders. There's a large Grim Totem settlement called Blackhoof Village to the northwest. They've been using it as a base to attack the tower. But I'll bet that you'll find the orders you're looking for there. Check the village's elders for traces of the orders you seek.
Greetings.
The equipment you found at the ruins of the inn belonged to a Grim Totem attack party. There's likely to be more just like it within their camp to the northwest. We haven't been able to gather much information about Blackhoof Village, but judging from the size of the raiding parties, there's a substantial force based there. Do whatever you have to capture some of their equipment so that we can compare it with the Endash and Jet findings from the inn.
Greetings. How may I help? Be careful.
Captain Darrow glances at the battle plan. I'd say it doesn't get any clearer than this. They've taken it upon themselves to fight back against human settlements in the area, and I have little doubt Theramore is next on their list.
I am honored.
Captain Darrow inspects the armaments you've brought from Blackhoof Village. There's no doubt about it. These match the description exactly, but there's just one problem. These have never been used in battle. Blackhoof Village must not be the only Grim Totem post in the marsh. Can't spare any men to help search for a second Grim Totem outpost, but I think I know of someone who might be able to help you. Deep in the quagmire, to the south, there is a small farmstead owned by Tabitha. She may seem little more than an old hermit, but the truth is that she's a mage, and scryer of some renown. Follow the road south to her farm, and seek her help in finding the culprits responsible for the massacre at the Shady Rest Inn.
The patch of swamp.
Greetings.
You need something?
Hey there. Have a good one. I supply only the finest goods. See you around.
Hello.
Well met. Light be with you.
So you want me to scry for Grim Totems, eh? And what will you say when I tell you there's no need? There's no scrying necessary to see the trouble my new neighbors are creating. And if this is the band that burnt down the Shady Rest Inn, as you claim, there's no reason to tolerate their presence any longer. Take this torch and raise their camp to the ground. You'll find Direhorn just to the north of my farm, near the road. You can't miss it, really, as the Grim Totems have done a splendid job of announcing their presence with those totems they favor.
Need help? Be careful.
Good day to you.
During the last Grim Totem attack, I was wounded, but not before I managed to capture a curious totem our enemies were using against us. It seemed to be emitting raw bolts of energy during the battle, but in all my experiments, I haven't managed to figure out how it works. I'll loan the totem to you if you agree to help me test it. The watery areas surrounding the farm are home to pesky mottled drywallow crocolisks and drywallow dagger moss. Try fighting the crocolisks near the totem.
How are you?
If there's one thing you can count on Apprentice Morlan to do, it's whine about reagents. Normally I just ignore him, and it never works. This time, I'm going to try something different. Maybe if I replace the missing reagents before he notices, he'll leave me alone. The most common reagent we both use is marsh venom, which comes from the dark fang creepers and noxious shredders in the marsh north of the farm. If you bring me the venom, I'll replace it before Morlan notices it's gone.
Hello.
The Grim Totems up at Direhorn Post, just to the north, are getting bolder by the day. At night, you can often hear them chanting about their deeds in battle against people who've tried to settle here. They're determined to drive us from Tabitha's farm, even though she's trained generations of apprentices here. We've defended the farm as best we can, but Apprentice Garrion was wounded in the last attack. Go to Direhorn Post and kill any Grim Totem you can find. The attacks must stop.
Good day to you.
Not long ago, a goblin zeppelin crashed to the east. A representative of the Steamweedle cartel passed through here a few days ago. She was looking for information about the zeppelin's cargo and its pilot, Diesel, but none of us really got a good look at the crash. I doubt she'll be able to clean up after the wreck by herself, much less recover whatever cargo the vessel might have carried. If you have time, you may want to check up on her out at Bezel's wreck, due east of here, near the mountains.
How are you? See you later. You need something? Farewell.
Safe travel.
The apprentice listens as you describe your experiment.
A haze and some lightning? That's it? There's gotta be more to the totem than just that. The Grim Totems aren't likely to bring something like this to the battlefield unless it has some kind of utility.
You need something?
Apprentice Garion inspects the venom.
This is absolutely perfect. He'll never know the difference.
King's honor, friend.
Apprentice Morla nods.
Good. Can't say I'll miss the company, if you can call it that. You'd think at least in the middle of the swamp you'd get some privacy, you know?
Well met. Light bless you.
I hope the Grim Totems got the message. Any attempt to return will be met with far worse than a mere torch. My apprentices and I will see to that. Although these Grim Totems were simply a nuisance to me, Captain Vimes will want to know of your deeds. Bring him the news that you have tracked down and dealt with those responsible for the burning of the Shady Rest in Howe. It's too late to save Jim Hyle's family, but perhaps the Grim Totems will think twice before attacking anyone connected to Theramore. Manat Goblin. Manat Goblin. What's her name? Foxy. Moxie. That's it. Anyway, when she came through here on her way to the Zeppelin wreck, she said the town of Mudsprocket was having some problems. That crashed Zeppelin was bringing them fresh supplies. If you follow the road south from here, past the Stone Mole ruins, you'll eventually come to Mudsprocket. Why don't you check in with Drazid Dripvalve down there and see if there's anything you can do to help?
Light be with you.
The captain listens to your report intently.
We avenged James and his family, but not even that can restore what was destroyed. I wish we had a way of letting James Hyle's wife and son know that we have brought their murderers to justice.
Captain Vimes produces a small wreath decorated with flowers.
There are some who say that their spirits will know, even if we cannot reach them. It's not much, but I'd like you to lay this wreath at the Heil family monument. It's one of the stones in the graveyard just north of Theramore's gates.
Be careful.
I buy and trade. Be careful.
Need help?
Captain Vimes smiles slightly as you relate the events you witnessed at the Heil family grave.
It's good to know that they understand. You didn't tell them about James, did you? I'll deliver his wife's message to him, but I doubt he'll understand.
There's a fellow the locals know as Swamp Eye Jarl who lives alone out in the swamp. Some time ago, he took over Swamplight Manor after the previous owners disappeared under mysterious circumstances. I like to send someone to check up on him every once in a while. He kind of reminds me of my grandfather, you know. Some say he's not quite right in the head. If you're headed northwest on the road out of Theramore, you'll find Swamplight Manor in the Witch Hill area, before the road turns west.
Safe travels.
Hey there.
Looking for something specific? Safe travels. Good day to you. Have a good one.